All right, so you're thinking about becoming a cloud architect,
Sounds like it.
and you've sent us some really interesting stuff about what it takes. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm already kind of blown away by how it's not just about the tech skills.
Right.
It's like a mashup of business smarts and tech wizardry all in one, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's like being at the crossroads of where the business wants to go and how technology can take them there.
So it's not just about building cool stuff in the cloud. It's about
Not just that, no.
really getting how a company ticks and then figuring out
Yeah, you've got to see the big picture.
how to use the cloud to make their dreams happen.
Exactly.
I noticed the source mentioned cloud adoption plans, even managing cultural change.
Right. Those are big ones.
Those are way beyond just coding, right?
Those are about people.
How does that all fit in?
Okay, so say a company wants to roll out a brand new product or maybe streamline how they handle customer service.
Okay.
The cloud architect's job is to take those goals and figure out how to use cloud tech to make it happen.
It's like they're the bridge between
Mhm.
the techies and everyone else,
I like that bridge. That's a good way to put it.
making sure everyone's on the same page,
And speaking the same language, which can be tricky sometimes.
which makes communication skills
Oh, crucial.
even more so than your typical tech role, I imagine.
For sure.
It's like they need to explain rocket science in a way that even the CEO can get, right?
Right. And not just the CEO, but also the marketing team, the sales team, everyone
So
involved.
you're dealing with different levels of understanding.
Exactly, and different priorities.
Right.
You need to be able to tailor your message and really get everyone on board.
So it's a lot of strategy and influence, too.
It's not just about being the tech expert in the room. It's about leading the charge.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's less about being a lone tech genius
Yeah.
and more about bringing everyone along on the journey.
100%. That's why you see all these skills highlighted in the source. Leadership,
Mhm.
communication, collaboration, change management.
Right.
Those aren't just buzzwords. They're essential for success in this role.
And then on the tech side, we've got a whole other list of skills: virtualization, security, networking.
The core technical skills.
And this one, infrastructure as code.
Ah, now we're talking.
Sounds kind of cryptic.
It's a game changer, though, let me tell you.
What exactly is infrastructure as code?
So imagine writing code to automate the setup of all your cloud resources, your servers, databases, networks, the whole shebang,
Whoa.
instead of configuring everything manually.
So it's like writing a set of instructions that the cloud platform follows.
Exactly.
You got it.
That's incredible. But how does someone even wrap their head around that?
It definitely has a learning curve,
Yeah.
but the benefits are huge. Cloud architects who can master infrastructure as code, they're like gold dust.
Because they can automate so much.
Exactly. They're freeing up time and resources for other tasks.
And I'm guessing that's where those specific cloud certifications come in.
You bet.
The AWS Certified Solutions Architect,
Right.
the Microsoft Azure Solutions Architect Expert.
Yeah, there's a whole alphabet soup of them.
How do you even choose?
Well, the key is to pick the ones that align with where you want to go in your career. So if I'm eyeing a company that's all about AWS,
Then getting AWS certified is a no-brainer.
it's like learning the local language before you move to a new country.
Exactly. You're
Yeah.
showing them you're fluent in their tech.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious about the different paths people take to become cloud architects.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like there's one straight road, right?
Not at all. There are many paths to the top of that cloud.
And that's what we're going to unpack
We'll dive right in.
when we come back. So many ways to get to the cloud.
It's true, there really are.
What are some of the most common starting points?
Well, a lot of cloud architects I know actually started in more traditional IT roles.
Like what kinds of roles?
System administrators, network engineers, even developers.
They already have their hands dirty with the tech.
Exactly. They've got the basics down, and then they level up their skills to the cloud.
So it's like taking those existing skills and kind of giving them a cloud makeover.
Yeah, you could say that.
And that's probably where those certifications come in handy too.
Oh, absolutely. Certifications are key for proving you can walk the walk.
It's like adding Fluent in AWS right to your resume,
Exactly.
showcasing that expertise.
And it's not all about the tech skills either.
Right.
The source also talked about those soft skills: communication, collaboration, leadership.
Of course. Because cloud architects aren't just coding in a corner somewhere.
No way.
They're leading teams. They're explaining complex stuff. They're making big decisions.
And they need those people skills to get everyone on board.
So experience in things like DevOps or project management would be super valuable too.
Totally. It's all about navigating Those big projects, working across teams, advocating for the best solutions.
So it's this blend of technical chops and those leadership communication skills that really makes a difference.
It's the winning combo.
So what about people who maybe didn't start in a traditional IT role? Can they break into this field?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Right,
Not
yeah.
just limited to the IT folks.
Interesting.
I've seen people come from software development, data analysis, even business analysis.
Wow. So really diverse backgrounds?
Totally. As long as you've got that analytical mind, that ability to see the big picture.
And a passion for problem solving.
Oh, yeah. You gotta love solving problems.
Because at its core, that's what cloud architecture is, right?
It's about solving problems, but not just any problem.
Mhm.
We're talking about using technology to solve real-world business problems.
So it's not just about being a coding whiz.
Coding's important, don't get me wrong,
Right.
especially for things like infrastructure as code,
Yeah.
but it's just one piece of the puzzle.
So there are all these entry points into this world of cloud architecture.
Multiple doors into the cloud, yeah.
What advice would you give to someone just dipping their toes into this?
Well, first things first, be curious.
Okay.
The cloud world is always changing, so you got to be hungry for knowledge.
Stay curious.
Always be learning.
And I imagine it helps to have a focus too, right?
For sure. Figure out what gets you excited within cloud computing.
Is it the data analytics side, the security side?
There's so much out there. What lights your fire?
Find your passion and then dive in.
Exactly. And once you've found it, there are tons of resources to help you build those skills.
Like online courses, certifications.
You name it.
The source even mentioned that some cloud providers have free tiers of service.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point.
So you can actually experiment and get some hands-on experience without spending a dime.
Love that. Learn by doing.
It all sounds really exciting.
Eh.
But let's talk about the why for a minute.
The why.
We've talked about how the skills, the career paths,
Mm-hmm.
but why would someone choose this path? Beyond the awesome salary, of course.
Now you're talking about the good stuff. This is what I love to talk about.
Yeah.
It's about being at the forefront of innovation. You're shaping how businesses operate in a digital world.
It's like you're making a real difference.
Exactly. You're not just building systems, you're building the future.
Yeah. Give us an example. What does that look like in the real world?
Okay, so imagine you're working with a company that's developing a new platform to connect patients with doctors remotely.
Like telemedicine?
Exactly. Making healthcare more accessible to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
As a cloud architect, you're not just building the infrastructure for that platform.
Yeah.
You're helping to revolutionize the way people access healthcare.
That's incredible. You're actually using technology to improve lives.
That's what it's all about. It's about making a difference.
And that's what gets cloud architects up in the morning.
It's the passion, the drive to create, to push the boundaries.
It's like you're an architect in the traditional sense.
I like that.
But instead of designing buildings, you're designing the digital foundations for entire industries.
And just like a traditional architect, a cloud architect needs to stay up to date with the latest and greatest.
Always learning new technologies, new approaches.
The cloud landscape never stands still.
That's both exciting and maybe a little terrifying.
A little bit of both, for sure.
So speaking of exciting new developments, we've talked about the core skills,
Yeah.
the responsibilities.
Right.
But what about the future of cloud architecture? Where is this field headed?
Ooh, now you're talking. That's where things get really interesting.
And that's what we'll dig into when we come back.
Yeah.
So many cool things happening in the cloud.
It's only getting started.
What's got you pumped about the future of cloud architecture?
Well, one trend that's really taking off is this whole serverless computing thing.
Serverless. Break that down for me. What is that?
So basically, it means developers can build and run applications without having to worry about servers at all.
Servers. That sounds kind of impossible.
It's the magic of the cloud. The cloud provider takes care of all the infrastructure behind the scenes.
So developers can just focus on the code and not have to become server experts too.
Exactly. It's all about making their lives easier so they can build amazing things.
That does sound pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But how does that change things for cloud architects?
It's a big shift. It means cloud architects need to become masters of orchestration.
Orchestration. Like an orchestra.
Kind of. You're conducting all these different serverless functions, APIs, data
But
services.
it's making sure they all work together in perfect harmony.
You got it. It's a whole different way of thinking about cloud architecture.
So less about the nitty-gritty of servers and more about this high-level view of how everything connects.
Exactly. It's about seeing the big picture and designing those connections.
That's wild. What else is on the horizon?
Another big one is edge computing.
Edge computing. That sounds pretty futuristic.
It's all about bringing computation closer to where the data is being generated.
So instead of sending all that data back and forth to a central cloud,
You process it right there on the edge.
give me an example. I'm having trouble picturing this.
Okay, so think about self-driving cars.
Okay,
They're generating tons of data from all those sensors, right?
right.
And they need to make decisions in real time.
Yeah, no time for lag when you're behind the wheel.
Exactly. So with edge computing, they can process that data locally instead of sending it all the way to the cloud and back.
So it's about speed and responsiveness.
Exactly. And for cloud architects, it means designing solutions that incorporate edge computing into the overall architecture.
So the cloud is expanding beyond data centers.
The cloud is becoming more distributed, more pervasive. It's an exciting time to be building the future.
It sounds like it. And for
What's-
anyone listening who wants to be a part of that future,
I say go for it. Dive in, explore, be curious. Never stop learning.
some great advice. And on that note, a huge thank you to you, our expert, for sharing your insights.
It's been a pleasure talking cloud with you.
And to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of cloud architecture. Keep learning, keep exploring, and we'll catch you next time.